Yeah, this is primetime Poulton. Keep it entertaining, you already knowin'. Outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Viking Wolf, US Assassin. Doing just what he loves, this is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar, no I'm not frontin'. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is primetime Poulton. This is primetime Poulton, let's go. It's all about the boom. TMC, baby. It's all about the boom. Cowboy Phil, baby. Hit him with the body slam, elbow drop. TMC, Cowboy Phil, laid pot guys. What you see in the ring are two monsters. Energy of a king and of a rock star. Yeah, drop kick, probably make your heart stop. You ain't ready, super scary, and they staying on top. Hit a ding ding, better watch yourself. It's TMC and Cowboy Phil. Late pot guys, yeah, they the real deal. It's TMC and Cowboy Phil. 2 times a week, you can't compete. They body slam you down, now you taste the beat. The champions, they legendary, nobody like them. Coming for the belt, yeah, they coming for the title. Hey, it's all about the boom. TMC, baby. TMC, yeah. It's all about the boom. Cowboy Phil, baby. Let's go. Cowboy Phil, baby. Hey. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Happy Monday. It's your Deathmatch King, TMC, primetime champion, and your Fragtober Deathmatch icon. I took this off the corpse of John Malin when I was in Michigan. He don't need it anymore. And you know what? With me, my trusted sidekick, Cowboy Phil McNulty. Phil, did you know that in a CGWF deathmatch, when you kill your opponent, you not only take their belongings, but you take their soul, their history, their lore. I'm like the CGWF Highlander.
And you take their pride.
Absolutely. So some people say Comics Game started with your boy Zach and John Malin launch Jawbreakers. No, it's your boy Zach and Mark Poulton, because I took everything that belonged to John Malin and made it my own.
I mean, technically, with Graveyard Shift, you make it your own as well. Now that's against US Assassin, so
yeah.
Been already kicking ass and taking names and taking titles way before they became literal titles.
Absolutely. That's a good segue. But first, do you remember my 90s hit comic from Image, Pit?
I do. It was amazing. I remember picking this up and saying, this is art. I can't believe that I'm going to be working with the Deathmatch King when I picked up that issue.
Some people, they might remember Dale Keown. I took that from him when I killed him.
I gotta say, your artwork was fantastic on the Hulk in the 90s, Mark.
Oh, my legendary run with Peter David. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm still collecting royalties off all the collections they make of that.
I mean, they just came out with a Funko Pop of Hulk and the bunny slippers and the bazookas that you drew. So
yeah, that royalty check should be coming to me any day now. But enough of the past. Let's talk about the present. And we're talking US Assassin versus Graveyard Shift Ultimate Edition. Phil, only 6 days left in the first half of the campaign. Now, I'm going to extend this most likely, but I'm not. I don't think I'm going to extend it another 30 days. Maybe another 2 weeks. So definitely, if you're on the fence, get in there now and back the book. This is our, basically our director's cut of U.S. Assassin Volume 3, our epic blood-soaked crossover with Graveyard Shift. We got this incredible cover by legendary G.I. Joe artist Ron Wagner. And it's inked by U.S. Assassin co-creator and student of Ron Wagner, Mike McMahon. And I just love this. It has our guy Flip Gordon on the cover. And Old Mercenary is taking down his Pro Wrestling Tees store, Phil. What do you think is the cause of this?
I think that means first off, you got to pick yourself up some mercenary swag. So back the campaign, pick your perks, get some mercenary Flip Gordon in yourself, and then go ahead and be wary of him signing a contract with NXT and him being Toss Smith or something like that.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, if you could come up with an NXT name for Flip Gordon, what would it be?
It would be Toss Smith. And then they would just cut it down to Toss. And then it'd be Toss. His finishing move would be the turn, so it would be the toss and turn.
There you have it. We also have a soft cover version of the book with an incredible cover by Eric Nienotowski. This is also available as a 20 by 30 inch poster. You know, we're taking it back to the 90s. We're filling our rooms with comic book posters. Awesome artwork. Here's the interiors by Mike McMahon and Anthony George.
Is there anything better than the trading cards, the posters, the comics, all with the bright 90s color schemes? There's nothing better to it.
Nothing better. You said it, man. That's comic books. Look at this beautiful work. Colors just pop.
Love that page.
Awesome double page spread. That's not all we're offering this campaign, Phil. We have a variant cover to Tyler Kirkham's Final Boss. Tyler's one of my favorite artists. So to get my own U.S. Assassin variant to his book is a huge thrill for me. And he's one of Mike's favorite artists and influences as well. So I know it's a big deal for Mike. But we got U.S. Assassin, Mercenary Slither, Kirby going off against the Final Boss characters. There's also an Ash Can to Volume 4 featuring my favorite wrestler of all time, Roddy Piper, as he joins the team as a special guest instructor to whip the new recruits into shape.
I mean, and where are you going to get Roddy Piper and Flip Gordon before he becomes Toss Smith?
Oh, we got Amanda B in the chat. Amanda didn't get a notification. Well, what's up, YouTube? You got to send the notifications to Amanda B.
Got to share them streams.
So she can come here and root for John Malin. There's no rooting for him anymore. He's dead.
You root for proxy, right? Rooting for John, right? You might as well just root for Mark because he killed him.
Yeah. I took everything that belonged to him when I just ripped his head off. You saw Twitter. There's your notification. I notified you. Because I'm better than YouTube. Thank you for joining us, Amanda B. We'll get into that sweaty wrestling talk real soon.
I mean, there were a lot of oiled up men last night. If you wanted to get your fill, there was 5 hours of oily men.
And I just want to mention we got the U.S. Assassin Slam Buddy. So make sure 6 days left in the first half of the campaign. We also have, Phil, we have Blackout in demand. I should have the books next month, which I'm excited for. I'll go to get this fulfilled really quick. Actually, some people have already got their perks because they just backed the script book. So make sure you back Blackout. I said it right this time, Phil. Get the Greg Paulson cover or that incredible Shelby Robertson cover. In addition, there's also black and white edition of the book. So you can get, if you're a big Shelby fan, you can get the standard cover and the black and white edition. Really enjoy his line work. But Blackout is in demand, but not for long. And then one last thing. We're going through the shilling really quick, Phil, because we got a cover to unveil. And Amanda B's asking about it. So Phil is drawing the perfect one when he isn't qualified. He needs to work on his attendance.
What does that mean?
You keep missing best friendship.
Oh. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Amanda, I was sick with COVID. I was pretty down.
Always an excuse with you, Phil.
I know. How dare I fall victim to a global pandemic?
We got OC Steve in the house. What's up, Steve?
I knew you'd be here, Steve. I said there's one person we're going to need for tonight's show to help us with the Japanese wrestlers, and that was my man, OC Steve.
And then last thing I want to mention, go sign up for Loose Threads. The signups are going really well. And why wouldn't it? We got an incredible cover by the legend, George Perez. And for some reason, it's not appearing on the screen. But trust me, it's awesome. We also have the first art book from Haunted Pizza, the Art of Heather Martin. Heather did that great Al piece for the back cover of Black Al. She's working on something for US Assassin right now. Incredible artist. She has a great story to tell, too, of how she got involved with art. Oh, here we go. Awesome jam cover by George Perez and Cesar Madaro. Definitely want to get this. Maybe the last cover ever by George Perez. Who knows? Who knows how many pieces he had in the vault, Phil? And yeah, just more incredible artwork by Caesar. This is one of the nicest looking books I've ever had the pleasure of working on. And very personal project, as I wrote this after getting fired by DC Comics twice in the same week, Phil. What an accomplishment.
I mean, not once, but twice.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if you're going to get fired, do it big.
Once those bridges are burned, you just got to throw on more gasoline into that fire.
Yeah, honestly, I was too nice back then, Phil. If this happened to Deathmatch King, he would have probably tore into DC. But I just kept quiet.
You hadn't made your heel turn yet.
Yeah, no. And that's all right. It all worked out for me, Cowboy Phil. I'm having the time of my life.
With the biggest year on the horizon.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I teased it on Twitter. We have a project in the works, Phil. It's maybe the first official The Pod Gods project.
Yeah. The Pod Project.
Mm-hmm. So we're doing a Perfect Creation, PCO Perfect Creation 1, a book with pro wrestler PCO who can be found on Impact Wrestling every week. Member of Honor No More. Although I don't know if that's going to be for much longer because that man's a babyface in a heel faction.
That man, as soon as he came on there and the fans started to chant PCO, we kind of looked at each other and was just like, I don't know if the heel run's gonna last.
Yeah, no, fans love him. I wouldn't be surprised. I could see PCO be an Impact World Champion.
I could too.
So, we're working on this book. I'm working on the Honor No More T-shirt. Dex just sent me the first look at it with his colors and his design work based on your idea to make it the old school Marvel corner box artwork with all the heads. It looks awesome. Just a few little corrections, and then it'll be perfect. OC Steve says second cameo of OC Steve in Poulton book. Yeah, OC Steve's kind of responsible for putting this PCO book together, so we have to hide him in the book somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe,
I just won't have your name on a gravestone, Steve. I'll put you in there.
Maybe his floating head in a jar somewhere in Destro's lab or something.
Yes, I can do that.
All right, are you ready to show off this cover, Phil?
Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Let me share the screen. Man, this cover, Phil was hyping it up, but when I saw it, I was like, it definitely lived up to the hype. And why can't I find it? Oh, here it is.
Back when Chris Bacalo was Christopher Bacalo.
Is that how you say his name? Bacalo?
That's how I always pronounced it.
I always said Bacalo.
That's what, I've heard it both ways, but we're going to have him correct us.
Let's not talk about Chris Bacalo right now. Let's talk about Phil McNulty's incredible cover to PCO Perfect Creation 1. And this is actually a homage to Chris Bocciolo's Ghost Rider 2099 cover. This is incredible.
Thank you very much. I wanted to, when the whole costume's revealed, I'm excited. I'm adding some little twists and turns to it. I sort of streamlined PCO's normal headband. I think it's going to flow really nice. You got to get those big old Spawn style chains in there.
I see so many 90s influences in here, Phil. I love it.
It's who I am. I can't be anyone but me. The one who grew up on Image Comics, Wildcats, Youngblood, Spawn. And I realized when Marvel passed me by, because I was too 90s for them, that I had to lean into it even harder, especially with the artwork they were picking over mine. So I said, you know what? I ain't going to change for nobody. And it certainly paid off. And I think this cover is just the start of it. I'm looking forward to just drawing the hell out of this book because it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, no, this looks incredible. I love it.
Thank you.
There he is. Leandro's in the chat. The wise man. So, yeah, this cover's awesome. Mm-hmm. Campaign. We're going to launch it sometime in 2023, as long as Cowboy Phil gets his work done.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen. I officially passed my EdTPA on last Thursday. I was watching a Broadway play when intermission hit, and not only did I pass the test, Mark, I absolutely crushed the test. So no more certification stuff at all. I am all PCO bound.
That's awesome, man. I have to finish writing the rest of the script then.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm working on those other pages coming up, so I can't wait to send them along your way as well. So
yeah, there's a double page splash. I can't wait to see what you do with it.
Oh, I'm just gonna feel like I'm just gonna, as I think this book has been, I don't know what it is. Probably because this is the first time I really got to read your script, just being sent to me to actually draw it. And I think this book was probably one of the easiest things to pop up in my head. As soon as I read it, I think it was just like image after image after image that popped up on that. And when you said homage, the 2099 cover, I said, oh, that it's going to be done.
Yeah, I want to, let's look at all this cool stuff going on along the outside of the cover. If you guys have your foil 2099 covers, you'll definitely see what we're going for with this homage. And I can't wait to see it colored up, and we'll have to get a PCO logo up there. Yeah, it's going to look badass.
If you need me to design the logo, or if he's got something in mind, just let me know. I will get working on that.
Yeah, honestly, I think we should just homage the Ghost Rider 2099.
That's what I thought. That's what Let's just roll it. It's rock and roll. Now you're all eyes on me now, unless Mark lost his stream. But appreciate all the
I knocked myself out again, Phil.
I know. Always.
But that's all right, because we were done sharing the cover. Great work, Phil. The cover's absolutely fantastic. The chat loves it. I'm going to share it later on Twitter. And I think now it's time to talk some pro wrestling, Phil.
Here we go.
So last night, Cowboy Phil and I went to Cinemark Theaters. We watched AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Now, going into this, Phil, I was a little worried because there's no stories for these matches. They're just maybe dream matches to some. To us, maybe not, because we're not the biggest New Japan fans.
Mm-hmm. I think we didn't we've said it enough on this podcast, TMC. We've said that we are storyline people. Mm-hmm. Always have been, always will be. We always hate this wrestler is good and this wrestler is good. We're going to find out who's the best. And it just never plays well. But for some reason, this pay-per-view played very well. And I think it was all because if you're banking on a pay-per-view being all about match quality, that means there cannot be a lull at all. And I think the fans did boost it up a bit. I think the love they gave to like an Okada and Shibata, who when his music hit, I was just like, who? But and I think the only real down match was the basically the all AEW one with Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa, even though they were slapping hard on that match. That one got a little snug.
Everyone's got heat with Thunder Rosa, Phil.
Snug with a hard emphasis on that "g," because that was snug.
Yeah, no, this was a great pay-per-view. Way better than Double or Nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like Double or Nothing, I was fighting to stay awake. That thing was so overbooked, and it felt like it went 5 hours, but it felt like it went 25 hours.
Yeah, this one went 5 hours, and for some reason, it did not feel like 5 hours. I think that's because we want storylines, and I think they were kind of forced to put storylines in the match. I think the Jericho storyline with Shooter being Red Shoe's son, that played very well. I think the Will Osprey Orange Cassidy match was pure. That was storytelling at its
We're
finest.
going to talk about that. We're going to go through the card, and we're going to start with the buy-in, where we had Bishamon, Haruki Goto, and Yoshihashi versus the Factory, Aaron Solo and QT Marshall. You got to get QT Marshall in on the buy-in, Phil.
Oh man, we walked in when that match started, and then we just saw. I mean, why is the Factory still a thing?
I'll tell you what, QT Marshall was working his butt off in that match.
Except for that flip over the top rope, that was looking a bit rough.
So he was like he was Cody's like assistant, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I guess he still has a high behind the scenes position. So he makes it onto the show.
Yeah, I feel like eventually he's gonna be a Finley, or the best he can achieve is a William Regal type role somewhere down the line.
Right.
I think eventually, if they need general managers, I think QT Marshall would be a good one.
I like it. maybe he moves over to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor they just announced their pay-per-view July 23rd.
I mean, does Gresham lose the title?
So originally, Claudio was supposed to make his debut on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Was that going to be Gresham's opponent, and Claudio was going to be the Ring of Honor champion?
Yep, you got it. But doesn't Claudio seem like he's already jumped? Like, you can't put him in Ring of Honor after that pop that he got as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's a step back for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll talk more. So no surprise here. Goto and Yoshihashi get the victory. We then get more of the Factory. We get Nick Kamaroto versus the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer. Now, we were talking about Kamaroto. If he was born 40 years ago, Vince McMahon would have made a lot of money off this guy. He would have been the Neanderthal, managed by either Slick or Bobby Heenan, and they would have thawed him out of a block of ice, and he would have been a caveman.
The vignettes would have been amazing, because at that same time there was that like that freak show thing that came out with like the wonders of the world, and one of them was like the frozen man, but he went missing, and you could have easily said that Bobby the Brain Heenan stole him, unthawed him, and used him to make money in the WWF. It writes itself, really.
Oh yeah, they would have lined him up for a feud with Hogan. He would have just been another monster to feed to him. But here, he's doing the job to the Murder Hawk monster. I feel eventually Nick Kamaroto is going to become something, but it's not going to be an AEW.
No, it won't. And as soon as Lance Archer came out, I forgot how much I loved his theme music, and it made me realize how poorly booked he's been in AEW. And I mean, I know he landed on his head his first jump in the ring last night, but still, I missed good everybody dies. Basically, New Japan Lance Archer. So I was glad to see him get all that love, especially as OC Steve pulled out with G1 coming up. He will be probably make a deep run in there, and I hope he gets rewarded in AEW when eventually that ends.
Yep, so no surprise, Lance Archer with the victory. We then go to, I think this was the final match in the buy, and we get Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland against Suzuki Gun, El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. You like these pronunciations, Phil?
You know what? Let's go with it. But needless to say, Swerve in Our Glory won. And I think immediately as we were watching that match, I turned to Mark and I said, why are they doing this? Why are these two guys in this position? Poor, Swerve's got the charisma, but Keith Lee has just got it, and you're wondering why he's just stuck on Rampage every Friday.
I'm actually surprised they won this match because I thought they were going to lose, and this was going to further lead to the breakup of them and their eventual feud. Swerve's a heel.
Yeah, he is, and he plays one damn well, and Lee's a babyface. So let's just get to that feud ASAP.
Yep. Johnny Cage says there was another match in the buy-in, the Ass Boys. Oh, right. Yep. We'll
Scissor me, daddy.
Yep, and here we go. Gun Club. Billy, Austin, and Colton and Platinum Max Caster go up against the New Japan LA Dojo. Alex Coughlin, Kevin Knight, the DKC, and Yua Amora.
I did appreciate how they talked on commentary, why they all wear the black trunks, why they have no gimmicks, because they're still in the dojo and they haven't earned that right yet. And I do like how it turned into a handicap match of Max Caster and Billy Gunn.
Yep, Billy Gunn is freaking huge. He's in the best shape of his life, and he's close to 60, if not 60.
I forget who I turned to. Oh, it was in the shooter match, but Billy Gunn same way. Is you see Billy Gunn, his age, and the way he's jacked. Are you telling me half the other guys on AEW can't add muscle? Come on now, it's your job. Like, and I get where Hangman's coming from, and I'm glad I enjoy they sticking up for the boys, but you can't say all criticism is bad or unwarranted. Booker T is absolutely right when he says the guys on AEW need to add on the muscle, because it's true.
Yeah, no. Once Adam Cole heals from his concussion or whatever he has, they need to take him right next to Billy Gunn, have him hold on to Billy Gunn's belt loop, and follow him every day to the gym.
Yeah, every day.
OC Steve says Billy Gunn is a freak of nature. We got Crazy Mad in the house. He says, "What up, people?" OC Steve's talking about that New Japan Dojo team. Other than Alex, they are all young lions. DKC wrestled on Rampage against Hook. He got squashed by Hook. Nobody beats the babyface handsome devil.
I am excited, and I think Hook is gonna be one of those guys that I think eventually puts on muscle. I don't think they expected him to be on TV at all yet. I just think the fanfare really, I think his natural charisma got him on sooner than he was supposed to be.
Yep. So Billy Gunn and Platinum Max, they defeat the LA Dojo. The Acclaimed, they're baby faces. They're just waiting for Bowens to heal up, and then the Ass Boys will turn on them. And then you got the biggest babyface tag team in AEW.
And we loved Bowens on WrestlePro. But he really didn't have the charisma or the mic skills, and him being with Max Caster has really elevated his charisma and his mic work, and it's going to be awesome to see these two together.
Yeah, and I predict that we get a dream match, the Acclaimed versus the New Age Outlaws, because Road Dogg has been released, and they are basically the New Age Outlaws.
They're great. I love Castor and Bowens. I love the
Mhm.
Acclaim. I think Max Caster's got it. He's probably a few years away. I think all tag team guys are always a few years away. But I am excited for the Acclaim's future.
Yeah. Nope. So the Ass Boys turn on the Acclaimed. They become baby faces, and then Billy Gunn brings in Road Dogg for the for the dream match.
Because his boys can't get it done.
Mm-hmm. There you go. We're booking it, Tony. All right, we've opened the forbidden door, Phil. The pay-per-view has started. We get trios tag team action. We get Eddie Kingston, Shoto Amuno, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Wizard, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. And this was for the advantage in Blood and Guts this Wednesday. No surprise. When the advantage is on the line, the heels win.
Right. I think this is going to be a clean sweep for Jericho. I think I think the Appreciation Society is also going to go over on Wednesday's Dynamite. I think, yeah, Suzuki was amazing in that match. You could tell that everyone, Suzuki, Jericho, and Guevara, were just on a different level. I feel that match. Yuta opened up the match really well. I thought he was awesome. He really surprised me. But you just saw the other guys across that ring, and I think the Excalibur said it best. You got 30 years of peace, right? So you had over 60 years of experience and gravitas on the other side with Jericho and Suzuki, and you just knew that match was a foregone conclusion. I think Blood and Guts is going to be the same way. I think you're going to see Eddie Kingston slowly start to turn heel. I think that's going to be the first feud for Moxley too, for the interim championship.
I was going to say Jericho's going to win Blood and Guts because he's going to be Moxley's first opponent. They're lacking star power right now with all their injuries.
And we talked about it at the show last night that we hope that I hope that Jericho sort of takes the belt off of him. I hope this interim championship changes hands a few times while Punk is gone.
Now, I think Moxley's going to get a good run for having the belt when there was no crowd. He's going to get a chance to have a crowd for this championship run.
John Moxley, I can't do it. Can't do it.
So the Wizards team wins. We then get the winner takes all match. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions FTR versus the IWGP Tag Team Champions United Empire versus Roppongi Vice. Hell of a match, Phil. We have an injury to Dax Harwood, which, according to Dax, was just storyline.
I mean, they sold me a ticket, and I believe that anything FTR does. But that's what makes FTR the greatest tag team in the world right now, is that no matter what program they're on, they make a storyline out of it, and they will sell you a ticket. Cash Wheeler holding that match together was amazing. And just him reluctantly having to tag in Rocky Romero was fantastic.
Yeah, this was a hell of a match. I think Dax tweeted earlier today, 2 years ago, he was shaving Cash's back on Raw. They were doing this stupid feud with the Usos, and basically WWE was making them a comedy team.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. And I think, I wondered why Claudio got the pop that he did. And I think it's just because wrestling fans see those who were strapped with bad gimmicks. Remember when he was Cesaro and he had that yodeling gimmick and he was stuck with whoever his Russian sidekick was at the time? You're just like, this guy's really good. Why is he stuck with this?
He had the weird tape around his thighs.
Yes, I remember that. It was so weird.
I think he was supposed to be a rugby player when he first debuted. Yeah, that's terrible. So FTR with the victory. They're now your Ring of Honor champions. They're the IWGP Tag Team Champions and the AAA Champions too, right?
Yeah, I mean they're going to be the AEW Tag Team Champions next as well.
They're the tag team belt collectors.
Yeah, I mean we needed somebody to do it, and I think Dax Hardwood's matches have been so good. Yes, I forgot about the James Bond gimmick. That was another, like the transporter James Bond gimmick was terrible. I mean, the bar was actually the best thing that he was in. I remember Mick Foley coming in. He's like, "You guys, 7 matches."
The bar was fantastic. That was probably the highlight of Cesaro's run in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got an interview. Tony Schiavone interviewed Juice Robinson and Switchblade Jay White. Juice Robinson, man, he's a great heel. I didn't care for him, like the little I saw of him on Impact when he was teaming with David Finlay. I thought he was just like a little, I don't know, over the top.
Mm-hmm.
But the over the top works when he's a heel.
I mean, he was great in the original NXT with the I forget what his name was, and he was the green piece guy, and he had the dreads and everything. I mean, that was fantastic. And then when they cut him, I was like, why did they get rid of him? He was awesome. He was one of the best things about the OG NXT.
He asked for his release from NXT. Because he valued himself more than WWE valued him.
Thank you, Steve. CJ Parker. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
What about his Kevin Owens debut against CJ Parker? And he got busted open.
I mean, we knew he was something special. I love guys who always bank on themselves, which is why I think we're going to see Flip in the NXT, the WWE like gear, the training gear with the gray shirt and the black shorts. I know, but
as long as WWE doesn't block U.S. Assassin Volume 4. If they do, they have to send me some monetary.
You send me money or C&D because you got the rights first.
Yep. Also, Juice Robinson, Mr. Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Not a bad job to have.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, AEW All-Atlantic Championship match. We get the Bastard Pac versus the Redeemer Miro versus Malachi Black and Clark Connors. Now, everyone was scratching their head before this match. Who the hell is Clark Connors? By the end of the match, the crowd was cheering for him. I became a Clark Connors fan. I actually wanted him to win the belt last night.
I was watching that match, and this was easily my favorite match of the night. Easily. Everyone was booked perfectly. Clark Connors got the crap beat out of him for the entire match up until they needed him, and he was spearing Miro through a table. He was spearing Pac. He was up against Malachi. It was fantastically booked. I turned to the moral compass during it. I said, this is exactly how you book Miro. Just have him absolutely squash everyone he's in one-on-one. Malachi with a miss to the face. And if there was anyone that I was pleasantly surprised with, was the Bastard winning the title. Dude, he so needed this belt. He's been, I feel like, just been run over by everyone in AEW. He's the guy they put in the big matches because they know he can deliver, but they never pay it off. I was so happy for the Bastard. This match, it was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I think going with Pac was the right choice. But, man, they had me believing in Clark Connors. And I would have been okay with him winning the belt.
I mean, they had the Japanese flag on the belt. Why not?
Yeah.
It was just so good. The match was incredible. It was easily my match of the night. And that's saying something considering the matches that followed. And I just think this pay-per-view was, if you're selling stories, you do it.
OC Steve, Tiny Hangman. That's Clark Connors' nickname.
Oh, they did him no favors with that promo before in the buy-in, and he was just like, all right, I got to get the wild rhino in there. And I got to say that I can beat man. I got to introduce myself. No, that did nothing for him.
All right, next up, this was a fun match. Bullet Club. We get the Young Bucks, one night only, back in Bullet Club with El Phantasmo. They got Hikuleo with them versus the Dudes with Attitudes, Darby Allin, Sting, and Shingo. My man Sting jumping off the top of the stage, incredible. But I feel like the MVP of the match is El Phantasmo with all his great facial expressions.
You knew this match was going to hump when he was doing all those flips, prepping for the back scratch. That was amazing. El Phantasmo he's just he steals the charisma from everybody. He's the one guy I think no matter what wrestling program you see him on, you always remember El Phantasmo. And think about even when he was later on during the Will Osprey match, he was still selling the neck and his eyes were still going. It was amazing.
So OC Steve saying ELP is
yeah.
going to be must watch in the G1. Yep, El Phantasmo moved up to the heavyweight division. That just shows his stock has risen over in New Japan.
He's my pick to win it. I really think he's going to win it. I think he is someone who New Japan can just tie their chariot to, and he's going to lead them to victory. I think he's got it. He's the best. To me, what makes El Phantasmo so good is that no matter which era of the Bullet Club that it is, you could put him in any generation, any iteration, and he would succeed. And he's got that Bucks type charisma. So happy.
Johnny Cage says, I was wondering how Sting was going to get his suicide attempt in this match. Still didn't see it coming. Yeah, I didn't see it coming either. At first, I thought he was going to come down from the ceiling old school style.
At first, I thought that he was jumped by the Bucks to begin with.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man.
Mr. Von Stugel, Phil did survive the dysentery on the trail. Everyone was wondering where you were for Best Friend Show, Phil.
Thank you. I was bedridden with COVID.
OC Steve, El Phantasmo versus Jay White is going to be a main event of Wrestle Kingdom.
Hell yeah. Now, Steve, let's get your opinion on it. Ultimately, when he leaves New Japan, because I think he will show up somewhere, whether it be WWE, whether it be AEW. Do you think he keeps the El Phantasmo name, or do you think he switches to something else?
He'll become, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're going to Sami Zayn him. I definitely see him losing the L part of the name. I think. Plus, I think he deserves it at this point.
Steve says ELP will be the leader of Bullet Club.
Mm.
You know who I think one day will be the leader of Bullet Club? He's on Impact right now. The newest member of Bullet Club, Ace Austin.
Oh, guys. Him and Chris Bay are just gonna make this new iteration of Bullet Club so good. So good. I think because I don't think I ever saw Jay White as Bullet Club. You know what I mean? I think Jay White, to me, he stands on his own. He's almost like an Okada figure in that he's so good at what he does. He doesn't need the Bullet Club. It's not like introducing Omega at the time to everyone. Jay White the Switchblade was already, there as one of the tops. So I think that's why I always see the Bullet Club as building stars, whether it be Prince Devitt or, having AJ Styles in there. We knew it was just building to Kenny Omega. And I think Jay White is ultimately filling that AJ Styles role for now. They need to sell merch. They need to keep it going up until you get an El Phantasmo or an Ace Austin taking that next gear, taking that next level.
Amazing Bullet Club is still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
How many years later, Phil?
Are they the best faction of all time?
I would think so.
Yeah, I agree.
So the dudes with attitudes, they get the victory. Sting's a madman. I just love the guy.
You know, it's funny because I follow Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter. I think everybody has that wrestler that got them into wrestling. And he said it best when he said, seeing, what up, Brian? When he said seeing Sting, the guy who got him into wrestling, still deliver. It's why I love Jericho so much. Every time a Jericho match happens, I feel like it's August of '99 again. I feel like, or I feel like I'm watching Y2J for the first time. I feel like I'm back to that kid going to Blockbuster getting Nitro tapes to watch his feud with Goldberg and have Ralphus. Like, he's that guy that gets me excited to watch wrestling again. I love seeing Sting wrestle. I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of it.
Can we talk about Undertaker for a second? Because the last ride of the Undertaker documentary, he sort of hinted why he never had his match with Sting, because he didn't think Sting could go. And at the end of their careers, Phil, who can go and who can't?
The one who had to retire can't go.
Yeah. They needed AJ Styles to pull one last match out of him so he could finally retire on his terms.
Oh, you know what? I was at Target the other day, and I saw the WWE came out with their new collection, and it was their claw style elite figures, and it had The Rock and Rey Mysterio, and the one they were sold out of that really made me upset was the American Badass Undertaker figure. Because that's the only Undertaker figure I will ever buy is the badass one.
So Crazy Mad is saying that the Four Horsemen are the best faction of all time. So I'm saying Bullet Club because every iteration of them has been good. You've had some real stinker horsemen. You've had Paul Roma horsemen. You also had the Mongo McMichael, Jeff Jarrett, Chris Benoit horseman. You even have a version of the Four Horsemen that everyone denies, but I saw it. And that was when Arn and Tully left for the WWE. For like 1 week, you had the horsemen of Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Kendall Windham, and Butch Reed. People say that doesn't exist, but I saw it with my own eyes, Phil.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Brian just popped it up with the NWO. But think about when Virgil is part of the NWO, and then you had the NWO Wolfpack, and then when Sting joined NWO with the red paint, you were just like, is everybody NWO? I think pound for pound, storyline for storyline, rather, every leader of the Bullet Club has had some success. I feel bad that Finn Balor was basically screwed over by AEW. I think tearing his labrum in SummerSlam really ended. So Vince McMahon's like, why did I put it on this guy? He's fragile. But man, in NXT, Finn Balor Demon was white hot. And it was all because he got himself over as Prince Devitt in New Japan. I was not even a New Japan pro wrestling fan, and I purposely stayed up till 2-3 in the morning in my college days to watch this faction called the Bullet Club, because to me they were just so cool. And I was a lapsed wrestling fan, and the Bullet Club got me back into wrestling, believe it or not. Seeing Prince Devitt and the Good Brothers, Anderson and Gallows, and just loving all their work, and then seeing the Bucks, and then having the Cleaner Omega came in, I could not stop watching. It was so good.
Yeah. OC Steve says Jeff Jarrett was in Bullet Club for a day. Yeah, and he brought Scott D'Amore with him too. So Scott D'Amore was a member of Bullet Club as well. Brian says, although that was heinous when Dusty turned heel and joined NWO.
Yeah.
Sting joined NWO. That was heinous. He was part of Wolfpack. That was silly red face Sting.
Even Steve Borden says that was a bad idea. He said he knew. I think it was on the Attitude Era documentary. He said he knew that WCW was dead the moment he joined NWO.
Crazy Matt says NWO should have taken over Thunder and had an NWO WCW invasion angle. Instead, they had no enemies or story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Bischoff says, that's why he got Bret Hart, because he needed stars for Thunder. I think Thunder was going to be the WCW show, and NWO was going to be Nitro. But then, for whatever reason, they decided not to pull the plug, or they decided to pull the plug on it. All right, let's get back to Forbidden Door. We have the Wizard. He fireballed the Shooter's face backstage. I love it. I love 2.0, Phil. I can't get enough of these guys.
When they were like, yo, Shooter, great match out there. Right. And then Luke brings out the knife comb, almost Arthur Fonzarelli. It is so funny. Cool Hand and Daddy Magic are amazing. I think Jericho, as soon as Sammy Guevara joined, we even were like, are they going to really push anybody down in the Jericho Appreciation Society? And we really saw how cool that Jericho is. It's like, no. Danny Garcia and 2.0 are still my OGs, and they're still going to get the boost over Guevara.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get the line of AEW figures where it's the Jericho Appreciation Society all in their white gear and their Kango hats.
Yeah, I mean, I am so excited. I love the Jericho Appreciation Society. I love the Wizard Jericho gimmick. Even JR, you can tell when he was like, he loved selling Claudio as a wrestler and not a sports entertainer. Oh my God. So good.
Yeah, so Crazy Man has a point. Sammy joined because he can't do it on his own with Tay.
Totally.
They were struggling big time.
I mean, they were getting booed out the building against Men of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah, you were turning. Scorpio Sky was face for a week.
Right. They always say the 4 pillars, right? And we talked about it last night, where Darby Allin is still with Sting. He's not MJF is, they're doing this long work, shoot, whatever you want to call it, deal they're doing right now. Jungle Boy's out of action, but we said that he needs to come back as Jack Perry to really make that next step.
Phil, now's a perfect time for you to apologize to me.
All right, I will apologize for everything I said about Christian. That promo, when he said, but your father's dead, absolutely said, all right, he's got to be champ, and Jack Perry's got to be. Jungle Boy's got to come back on stage and say, you know what? I did have a father. His name was Luke Perry. And you may have killed Jungle Boy, but you didn't kill Jack Perry. And he comes back as Jungle Jack Perry, and that's how he wins the title. That writes itself. And only, gotta give it to him, Christian can run with that title and make it prominent again. Because I think since Omega lost it, I've been interested in every other title except for the heavyweight title.
And Christian hitting at MJF to feed off his scraps, his crumbs.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Christian got the promo of his life. So good.
Yeah, Christian's the man. And I always knew it, Phil.
I know. I got to take it back. Listen, the receipts are out there. The screenshots of me bashing Christian would be out there. I can own up to my mistakes.
All right, next up, AEW Women's World Championship match. Thunder Rosa defends against Toni Storm. You alluded to it earlier. Some heavy hands were thrown in this one.
Some snug forearms were hit. And Toni Storm, I got to give it to her. When she took that punch to the teeth, like she just freaking walloped Rosa in the mouth with an elbow. It was great. And I think Thunder Rosa was...
Thunder Rosa...
Yeah. She was just like, you know what? Yeah. Good. I think that's what even made the handshake even better was that. And I got to tell you, I don't care about any of these women, but by the end I was rooting for Toni Storm, so good on her.
Yeah, no, I'm a Toni Storm fan. I want to get my, I can never get enough of Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, Phil.
Let's go do it. I think the women's division, you need Britt Baker to still be a prominent part of it. She's got to be the Triple H in your women's division. She's always got to be there. Whether she's winning the title or not, she's always got to be there.
Johnny Cage says he thought Britt's reign was getting stale, but boy, am I done with Thunder Rosa already.
Yeah. Britt has been carrying that division for so long, and they just got, and I think, Ruby Soho has been the only competitor that has really made me enjoy women's matches outside of Britt Baker.
When do we see Sasha Banks appear on AEW?
Apparently she's been released like 2 weeks ago, so we still got like another 75 days or whatnot. And yes, Crazy Man, it is a work. I believe MJF's is a work.
Next up is my match of the night, and that's for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Will Osprey defends against Orange Cassidy. This match was incredible. Orange Cassidy, man, we said it, 6 months ago? He should have been world champion. He should have been the guy that beat Kenny Omega.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy that beats Pac for the title. He's the only guy I can see that would be a reason for Pac to drop the title. Miro's great, but I think Miro has got to be in the main event picture soon. I think he'll ultimately, I think Miro is going to get over as a face. So I see him and Malachi Black feuding. And I think the Redeemer will be the face in that one. So I think Orange just proved time and time again that he's the one wrestler. We talk about guys needing muscle and whatnot. Orange Cassidy is him and Darby Allin are the two guys that you say, with their size and weight, you still believe them pulling off a victory at any moment.
Yeah. And how good is Will Ospreay? This is really the first time I got to see a lot of him. I mean, I think everyone's seen clips of that legendary match he had with Ricochet, where they were doing all the gymnastics and stuff. But man, like, his psychology is great too.
He had me roaring, like, between him selling and his in-ring psychology is like so good. No wonder Omega was bashing him early on, saying, oh, him and his 20 moves of okayness was great. Omega and Osprey is going to be so good when it happens. And Orange deserves a run with the title. He is the most over guy in AEW. I mean, I feel like Jericho puts these guys over for a reason, because Jericho knows the business better than anybody.
Yep. Nope. I agree. Osprey gets the victory. Hell of a match. Running at the end from Shibata to save Orange Cassidy. Just all around a great match.
This was the definition of a match when you have no storylines going in. You need the wrestlers in the ring to make the storyline, and there was no better match with that than Osprey and Orange.
Next up, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson's personal pick for the newest member of the Blackpool Combat Club. This was no surprise. I think everyone knew it was going to be Cesaro, a.k.a. Claudio Castagnoli.
I mean, the match was fire. I think Zack Sabre Jr. is, Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr., I've said for years, they are the guys that have blank checks anywhere they go when they eventually leave New Japan. Mm-hmm. They're just that good. And man, was that match was phenomenal. And I think I referenced it earlier that Claudio FKA Cesaro was so mishandled in the WWE that this is the gimmick he needs. He just needs to be a professional wrestler. At the end of the day, sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, no, the fans popped huge for him. They love him. OC Steve says Marty is heading to New Japan.
Let's hope so. We love ourselves some Marty's girl.
Yeah, no, they tried it. They tried it, a year ago, I think, in the when they were doing the stuff in LA with no crowds, and it leaked that he was there for the tapings, and they canceled him before he even his match even aired.
Marty's done his time. I think you sent me this photo about Joey Ryan working at Universal Studios.
Oh, he works at Disney on the
Works
Jungle
at
Cruise.
Disney. Like you gotta give some of these guys their all right. They did their time. But I respect, just like him and Jimmy Havoc, I respect them getting a job elsewhere.
Yeah, no, people are trying to shame Joey Ryan for working a regular job, working at Disney, and hats off to him, man. You have to be a responsible adult.
Yeah.
Yep. OC Steve says Disneyland. Johnny Cage says it was at this point that I thought, wow, no one is getting color so far. Oh wait, Moxley is working tonight. All right, so Claudio with the victory. Now we get the IWGP four-way for the world title. Switchblade Jay White defends against Adam Cole versus Hangman Page versus the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. So we had a bit of a hiccup at the end of this match, Phil. Adam Cole gets injured. Jay White realizes he's injured and goes for the pinfall. Apparently, Adam Cole suffered a concussion on a drop kick from Okada.
Yeah, so he got dinged twice back to back. First with the shot to the head, and then on his way down on the mat, he took another shot when he just felt like a sack of potatoes. And kudos to Jay White calling the match and being like, "That's it, we're going to this finish. It's done." And then I love how him running to the back and telling the Bucks like, "We're still doing a show, but he's hurt, man." And Jay White is the freaking man. Like I said, this match was good. You needed those extra 10, 15 minutes to really set it above, but I love the fact that the fans were into it.
Did you see Jay White's interview at the media scrum afterwards?
No,
where he sort of like gave Tony Khan some shit.
No, I didn't. That's amazing.
I think Jay White was working him, but Tony Khan looked like he was like he got fooled.
I love Jay White.
He was pissed off that no one put his belt like on the I don't know, the mantle where the championship belts go during the media scrum, and Tony Khan apologized, said that shouldn't happen, and Jay White was just like giving it to him. And I think Tony Khan seemed like he was like genuinely upset that Jay White was giving it to him.
I gotta tell you, Tony Khan is the biggest mark I've ever seen. The way he was hugging Okada and the way he was hugging Claudio like they were his father coming back from war was
someone said he's making up for all the hugs his daddy never gave him.
Oh my God. Just Tony, yeah, I mean, don't be Vince, but also don't be this. Jesus.
Yeah. Johnny Cage says Jay needed that person to put his belt on the table, damn it, sloppy shop.
Yes.
So Tony Khan apologized, and Jay White like real sarcastically said, "There's always next time."
Yeah.
You can look for it. It's only like a 10-second clip, but it's hilarious.
Cannot wait.
All right, and then main event time. AEW Interim World Championship match. Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Moxley got some color, Phil.
Surprise. You
hate Moxley. Just say it.
I hate him. I can't stand him. I think he's one tone on the mic. His character's one tone. He gets color every match. He doesn't do anything for me. It's the same old. He fails to evolve each time. What makes Jon Moxley different than Dean Ambrose outside of blading and some swears? Absolutely nothing. Like, he's got no dimension as a character. I mean, I think we're getting to that point with Hangman too. I mean, why the greats are the greats, right? Are gonna be the greats, right? And same, Steve. That little piece of me was hoping Tanahashi was gonna win, even though he doesn't speak enough English in his promos. But damn, I did not want to see another Mox promo again. It's just the same old, same old. So I was glad when the match ended, and I was glad Jericho came out and started to kick the snot out of him.
So that brawl at the end was great, and what was great about it was everyone came out, like everyone from Blackpool Combat Club, all of Kingston's guys came out, and then just like Kingston seeing that Claudio is part of Moxley's team, and him like yelling at Moxley. Come on, Moxley was great in that, just with his like blowing off.
I think Eddie Kingston makes everything work. I freaking love Eddie Kingston. He can sell me a ticket to anything, even a John Moxley rematch.
OC Steve says Mox has less hair than Dino.
Sorry, my bad, Steve. And he's got a plant less. So
So that does it for Forbidden Door, man. I thought it was a great pay-per-view.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I was on last week. I was fired up. I gave a rant about AEW's booking. But when you're booking a card that's supposed to be dream matches, the boys in the ring delivered. They were not given anything to work with other than your AEW, your New Japan. Let's go for it. But Jericho and Shooter working from his match against Omega, like between Osprey and Orange saying you don't take this serious enough versus I'm gonna play mind games with you, between the All Atlantic Championship about the bastard finally getting his crown moment, Clark Connors stepping up to the plate moment. The boys did their thing, and this is why I get on AEW, is because you get a guy who can craft storylines. Those boys are talented in the ring and outside the ring. So you just get someone who crafts storylines, and they're going to sell it.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic pay-per-view. Phil, so we're coming back again this week for another show. We're going to have some CGWF action. It's a surprise match. I don't know what Six is planning for us. He told me, I asked for a hint. He told me it will be Too Sweet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm excited. Cannot wait, brother.
So, we got some new people in the chat since we started. So I'm going to throw up your PCO cover once again. And Phil, why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I will probably put this up on the Instagram after you throw it up on Twitter. But you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at AnimatedPhil. Thank you so much for everyone showing love in the beginning of this. With this cover, I am a pure McFarlane Lee Liefeld artist, as you may know from some of my work. Whether it be my Batman 50 cover, which was ranked 3 out of the top 75, whether it be my solicited but not published X-Men 92 cover, I am a 90s guy, and I'm looking forward to just kicking all sorts of ass with this comic, especially, like I said, when it's about the perfect creation one, your work has got to be perfectly created one. So I can't wait to kick all kinds of ass with this book. I'm so stoked. And I just know that I got to design an awesome look because that wrestling buddy is going to look awesome.
That's right. So OC Steve's guessing a trios match. Maybe the Death Match King, Cowboy Phil. And who's the third man, Phil?
We'll find out. Hopefully OC Steve. We'll bring him in.
Well, we still need to get Leandro.
If he comes in as our manager this match, I will love it. The Pod Gods are looking to get those championship belts, so watch out, Diaz Bros.
We're taking all the gold this year. All right, you guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton. Hit the notifications. If you haven't backed U.S. Assassin versus Graveyard Shift Ultimate Edition yet, there's only 6 days left in the first half of the campaign. I don't think I'm going to extend it for another 30 days after this. So get on it while you can. Black Owl's in demand, but not for much longer. I should have the books next month. Sign up for Loose Threads. I want to make it my biggest book ever. So sign up for the mailing list. You're going to get a discount on launch day. And Phil, we'll be back hopefully Wednesday with some CGWF action.
And talking John Cena's return, apparently.
Yeah. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.